Today I want to give you 5 questions to ask before you hire your next manager or someone into a leadership position. And I want to give you what I call our success predictors. These are things to listen for in their answers throughout the interview that are indicative of success. So if they say things in a certain way, they use certain words, or they have certain styles, this would be indicative of success and they're likely to be successful in the role. Or a lack of these would indicate that they're not going to be successful in the role. And these are tools that you can use whether you're hiring a project manager, a customer service manager, a director. It doesn't matter. Any type of leadership or management position, these are key things that you are going to want to understand about a candidate before you make a decision. And one of the most important things is compatibility. You want to make sure that the person you hire is compatible with the people that they're going to be leading. You don't want to put in a manager who is ideologically opposed to the people that they're going to be leading. This is just going to cause a lot of friction and you're not going to get things done. So compatibility is huge. It's very important to understand how they have led in the past. What kind of manager were they? Did they lead from the front? Did they lead from the rear? Leading from the front is when they're out there setting the example and getting in the trenches and working with the team and showing them how to do things. They're leading from the front. Or are they the type of manager who leads from the rear, where they basically tell the team, here's what needs to be done, here's the plan, here's how to do it, now go do it, I'll be here if you need me. Lead from the front, lead from the rear. They're both good styles. But you want to understand what their style is and whether that's going to be compatible with the people that they're going to be leading. The first question I like to ask is, what's the biggest reason a team may not be performing at its most optimal level? Now, an experienced manager will know this and they'll be able to answer this easily. But there's really only 2 reasons a team isn't performing at its highest level. One is they're not clear on the goal. They don't see the big picture. They don't really know what's going to happen when the project is done. The other reason is they don't believe in the plan. That means they were handed down a plan from management to go execute, and it's not their plan, it's not their idea, and they don't totally believe in it. They don't believe that if they do all these things that they're going to reach the goal. Plus, they don't know what the goal is. So it's either one of those 2 reasons or both that a team really isn't working at its highest level. Sure, there's other reasons. There could be financial reasons, there could be resource reasons, there could be all kinds of reasons, but these are the 2 biggest reasons, assuming you have a team that's well put together and well funded. Those are the 2 reasons why they won't be working at their most optimal level. And so that's something you want to look for in candidates. And this will give you a lot of information about how deep that manager is able to go, what level of experience that they have if they've been in this type of situation before. All right, moving on to number 2. Have you ever been on a project before where there was no clear leader, but you stepped up and took charge? And did you get the respect of your team? Most leaders will have some type of story like this, which is why they're a leader, because they've been on a project before that lacked leadership, and because of who they are inside, they felt the need to step up, take charge, and give the team some direction to complete the project. So look for some story like that in every managerial or leadership candidate. This will tell you a lot about them and who they are and whether they're likely to be successful if you hired them. Moving on to number 3, tell me about a time when you led a team towards an objective where you didn't achieve the desired result. And what I'm listening for in this is ownership. I'm looking for someone who is owning the whole project, owning the failure of the project, meaning that whether it was someone else's fault, whether they didn't have enough funding, whether it was management's fault, whether it was the weather, it doesn't matter. I'm looking for someone to come in and say, you know what, I led this team and we did not achieve the desired result and it's my fault. I take full responsibility. That's what I'm listening for. I'm also listening for people who are blaming other people. They're blaming the weather, they're blaming their team, they're blaming resources, they're blaming management, everything but themselves. Those people are not my leaders. They're not my managers, and they will not get a second interview with me, because that is the surest sign of lack of leadership, is someone who blames other people and other things, no matter if they're outside of their control or not. If you're a leader, you have to own it. You have to own it all. That's your job. Moving on to number 4, what qualities do you think makes for a great leader and a bad leader? When you boil it all down, the job of leadership is to maximize resources. That's what a leader is supposed to do. They take the team, they take the finances, they take everything that they have, all their resources, and they channel it towards a desired outcome and a desired result. The highest form of leadership is to get people to do what you want them to do because they want to do it, so that it benefits the team, so that it benefits the company. Bad leaders are manipulators. They try to get people to do things that only benefit themselves. And we don't want bad leaders working for us. We want the best people. Moving on to number 5, here is my absolute favorite question. I ask this for all management and leadership positions, and even some non-leadership positions too, because it's such a good question. And it is, what are 3 areas of improvement that you are working on right now? And if they don't know, if they have no idea, or they hem and they haw, they're amateurs. They are total amateurs, because true leaders, true high performers, A players are always up in their game. They're always stepping up. They're always working towards the next level. They're doing something to better themselves. And if you come across somebody who's not and just kind of fumbling through, they're not who you think they are. So those are my 5 favorite questions to ask all leadership candidates. Now, obviously there's more than 5, but those are the ones that are going to give you great insight into the candidate and what they're capable of, and if they're going to be a good fit for the team. Other things that you want to look for and listen for are body language. I love looking at body language because it communicates. I'm looking for it to communicate what they're saying. So if you have a leader who's talking about their accomplishments and maybe they're just kind of slouched back in their chair, that's telling me that they're saying one thing, but their body language is saying something completely different. If they're talking about their accomplishments and they're enthusiastic, they should be sitting up in their chair. They should be excited, and it should just be all over their face and in their shoulders and in their voice. Body language is so important. Make sure that their body language matches what they're saying. Listen for their enthusiasm. They should be excited. They should be excited about your vision, where you're going, your products, leading this team. They should be excited about the kinds of things that they've done before and how they can help you do those kinds of things. Enthusiasm is huge. If they're just kind of dull and kind of just sitting back in their chair, that means they're going to be a dull leader. That means they're not going to energize your team. They're not going to push your team to new heights. They're not going to be on fire. Listen for confidence as you're talking to them. And this kind of goes along with body language as well. Body language ties all back to it. But listen for their confidence. Are they totally confident about what they're saying, or are they just kind of soft and speaking and maybe just a little uncertain? These are all clues that they really haven't been there. They haven't really been in the trenches. They haven't really been the leader that they are proclaiming to be. So listen for that confidence. They should be, when they talk to you, when they answer questions, they should be nailing them to the wall with absolute certainty and making you feel and believe that, they are really capable of doing these kinds of things for you in this position. And lastly, listen if they're a team player. Just because they're a leader and they're a manager, they still need to be a team player. They need to be on the team. They need to be there helping and coaching and guiding and mentoring the people on the team. They can't just be the type of manager that hands your team a project and just says, go do it. They need to be there with them. They need to work with them and help them grow and give them the resources that they need, that team needs to complete their mission, their job, their project, whatever it is. All right, my friend, that is all that I have for you today. Oh, I also have something very special for you today. I wrote a brand new book, and it's called The 7 Master Steps to Hiring A Players. And it covers 7 master steps, from creating a job scorecard to writing job propositions to phone interviews to auditions, covers everything. And you know what? It's an easy ebook download. You can get that from thesimplehiringsystem.com. I'll put a link for that in the description below. All right, my friend, that's all I have for you. Good luck on hiring your next manager or your leader, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye now.